Good morning, y'all. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to you guys for the support, for, DMs and emails and all that stuff. Thank you guys. I truly appreciate that. It means the world to me, first and foremost, right? And then second of all, I have 4 other brothers reach out to me and tell me, Frank, I'm going through the exact same thing. I didn't know what to do. I still don't know what to do. I didn't know who to speak to. But thank you for sharing what you're going through. Maybe we can speak and help each other. And that's one thing that I knew for sure. I know in life that anything I'm going through, right? Anything that I'm dealing with, there's a million other people out there dealing with it. We just don't know that each other's dealing with it, right? So I knew that. So thank y'all. Those of y'all that did reach out, thank you guys. First of all, let me know confirmation, right? That I'm not alone in this. And a thing that I think that women don't understand, and there's a lot of shit that men don't understand about women either, right? But something that women don't understand is when you get a man that absolutely loves you, right? Because I think, I know, for myself, I placed Rachel on a huge pedestal, right? And she deserves it. I'm not saying it wasn't warranted or anything like that. She deserves it. She 100% changed my life, right? She deserves it. But I placed her on this fucking pedestal, right? Because I loved her and I cared about her, and the way she made me feel safe. And for the first time in my life, she made me feel loved and safe. This little woman that weighs 100 pounds and, fucking 4'11", but swears she's 5 foot, she made me feel safe. Nobody ever made me feel like that in my entire life. Even growing up, right? Not my mom. One person who did was my grandmother. So I can't say nobody. So when I found that in her, instantly I knew she's special, right? And she messaged me. I don't know if she watched the video or, but she messaged me, and she, she doesn't really speak to me, but she messaged me and told me, she had some feedback for the video. So there's something that I need to speak up, right? Because I don't. So me and Rachel could be going through the most horrible shit in the world, and I really wouldn't tell anybody while we were going through it, because I didn't want anybody to look at her differently, right? Even if it could, and I'm not saying that this happened at all, but even if it could be, she could be fucking hit me in the head with something, and I would never tell anybody because I just didn't want anybody to look at her differently, right? So back 5 years ago, I put myself in a horrible situation, right? And maybe down the line I'll get into it a little bit more. I put myself in a horrible situation. There was a lot of stuff at this time that had been going on in our relationship, right? That I felt I just didn't feel loved. I didn't feel cared about. I felt like, damn, this is what it's like to have the honeymoon phase over. That's what I felt like, honestly. And once again, that was a lot for me. But I put myself in a bad situation, right? And I had a woman that came on to me. And so let me just give you a little bit of a little bit of context to this story, right? So I was in Philly. There must have been something going on, right? Because all the Airbnbs and hotels were booked up. So anytime there's something going on in Philly, all the hotels are booked up. All the Airbnbs are booked up. If they're not booked up, their prices go from $100 to fucking $500-$600, right? So I'm there with a friend of mine, it was when I did the lives, like, you know, walking around, you know, in Kensington. So there's, you know, footage of this day somewhere on my channel. But I couldn't find the place, right? We couldn't find the place. So we were about to sleep in a truck. And then somebody was like, yo, I have a friend that you might be able to pay them to stay in their house, right? So I said, all right. The friend, she was a female. The friend of mine was a male, you know. The friend that we would be staying in their house was a female. Instantly, I should have known, don't do it. Instantly, I should have known. Just because even if I'm paying them and I'm sleeping, you know, they're sleeping in the fucking attic and I'm sleeping in the basement, it's just not a good look. Even if I'm there with somebody else, it's just not right, right? Instantly, I should have said, no, it's cool, I'll sleep in the truck. I should have just slept in the fucking truck, right? Now that I think about it. I didn't, right? So the woman had children, and her children were at the father's house, I believe, or wherever, you know. So their bedroom was open. So I said, look, if I pay you, could we stay in the bedroom? She said, yep. Gave her $125. We stood in the bedroom. We get in. I go to the bathroom at night. You know, wash my face, get ready for bed. And as I'm coming out of the bathroom, this woman pushes up on me, right? And for like a couple seconds, I didn't instantly shut it down, right? And but very soon I did, just because I realized Rachel fits in my arms a certain way, right? She fits in my arms a certain way. Rachel has a certain smell to her, right? Because she comes up to here, so I smell her hair. That smell is burnt into my sinuses. I instantly realized, hold up, this isn't your wife. And I told her, oh, you know, this can't happen, right? And I should have just fucking left. I should have just left. I didn't. I went into, you know, essentially what was her kid's room and fell asleep. My friend that was there with me, he didn't know anything. You know, I didn't feel the need to say anything to him. So the next day, Rachel goes onto my computer at home, and I have Apple products. They're all linked, right? And she sees a message between me and the girl saying, look, if I pay you, can I stay there? There wasn't any flirting. There wasn't, you know, oh, I'm coming over. You could tell this was the first time we talked from the conversation. All that stuff, you know, you could tell that this wasn't, you know, something that had been done on a regular. You know, it was literally, the message was, hey, I can't find a place to stay. Would it be all right if I gave you, you know, a couple dollars and we could sleep? And she's like, yeah, if you want, you guys can stay in my son's bedroom or my kid's bedroom, right? So she sees that, you know, and instantly she thinks the worst. And she's right in thinking the worst, right? Even though the worst didn't happen, she thinks the worst, right? And, you know, it caused this huge episode in our relationship. And I told her, when she first, I said, look, nothing didn't happen. I said, that's, it just didn't happen. You're asking me to tell you that something happened, but nothing happened, right? And then I felt like I was lying because I didn't tell her that the girl pushed up on me. I didn't tell her that part, right? So I was like, damn, technically, something did happen. She pushed up on me. She literally came up on me as I was coming out of the bathroom. I don't know if it was like by a mistake or, we just bumped into each other coming out of rooms, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's what happened, to be honest with you, though. But, so after a while, and a while, I mean like a couple years, I told her, I said, look, Rachel, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I said, I know you're not going to believe it. This is what happened. And this is all that happened. And I promise you this. This is all that happened. And, she didn't believe me. This was 5 years ago. So this has been an ongoing issue for her, for these past 5 years. But, and not even but, because 100% I was in the wrong, right? I should have never stood there. It was just, I was wrong. Up to that point in our relationship, and I was thinking about this the other day, I said, damn, why would I even put myself in those situations? Because usually something, I would have been like, hell no, there's nothing good that can come out of that. But for some reason, I was like, well, it's no big deal, right? So I started to evaluate and backtrack. And I realized that a lot of things, every time we would get into an argument, she would say, I want a divorce. And she'd run to her mom's house. We could have an argument about the fucking dishes, the smallest thing. She would always say, I want a divorce. I'm leaving. And she wouldn't talk to me for weeks. She wouldn't show me any affection, all that stuff. So I think, like, in my head, I was sort of missing that and wondering, damn, is there something I'm doing wrong? Is she dealing with another man? This is just stuff that I think we think, right? And then I think by her having that reason to hold on to, that was like, oh, I got my reason now, so I can, if I don't want to talk to you, I don't have to talk to you, because this was going on before that. But she brought that up. She was like, Frank, in there, you act like you didn't cheat. And by some people's definitions, I didn't cheat. By my definitions and her definitions, I was unfaithful. Even though we didn't have intercourse, even though we didn't kiss, nothing like that. Even though there was no type of sex, no oral sex, nothing like that, I was still unfaithful because I was lying and hiding something from my wife, right? And regardless if she hid anything in the past or anything, that's regardless. I'm responsible for my own actions. So I sort of felt the need to say that because Rachel even asked me, she's like, why would you even make that video? And I told her, I said, because the one person in the world that I want to speak to me won't speak to me. And it's crazy, but I make this video and you finally speak to me, right? So I get off the shop last night and Rachel's trick-or-treating with the kids, and I step up there so I can see them with their costumes and stuff. And we walk around, and this shit is just too much for me. Even though we've been, dealing with this and haven't been on any type of good terms in months, it's still hard. I was there for like 10 minutes and then I was like, yeah, I gotta go. I can't do this, man. I just can't do this. So, I felt the need, after she sent me that, I felt the need, because I don't ever want to share or portray Rachel in a bad light. You know, because that wouldn't be honest. She's not perfect, but she's perfect for me. All right. So this video is already 15 minutes. I'm sorry. I had to fucking ramble. But anybody else that's dealing with this man, you're not alone. We're going to get through it. You know, man, I think things like this are so much harder for us. So much harder for us, because we love in a different way. Especially, you know, and I'm not saying all men. Certain men, when we love somebody and we be like, yo, this is the one. To us, that's the one. Like, we've imprinted on each other. And, you know, there's certain species that once they imprint on each other, they mate for life, and that's just them. You know, I think that's what some men feel like. You know, so anyway, I thank you guys. I thank you guys, truly. It helps me to talk about it, to be honest with you. I don't really, you know, I don't have that. So I thank you guys. Remember to be kind, loving, and patient. And don't take nothing for granted, man. Nothing in life. Nothing. Cherish every single second. It's just like that. Shit changes. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a blessed day, y'all.